Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, but really, become a member to the channel. That would help tremendously. Now look, Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn 2, the grudge match. The fight is on. They had the press conference today. And all I'm going to say is they can do what they want, but I just think when you create something as beautiful as what they created in that first fight, you just can't top it. There's no way in the world they're going to outperform themselves. No way. The way Chris Eubank Jr. pulled up, what was he in, a Rolls Royce? Just the perfect timing, the angle, the cameraman. Eubank Sr. showing all 32 of those teeth with that shiny bald head, coming out the vehicle with his son. I mean, it was just amazing. And the look on Conor Benn, his father's face, it was just something out of a movie. You know what I'm saying? But enough of all that bullshit. If you ask me what I think, I don't think they should be fighting. I mean, that's just my opinion, but they're going to do what they want. Now, when you take a look at these guys in that first fight, total punches thrown, 912 thrown for Eubank Jr., 593 for Conor Benn. Total punches landed, 42% for Eubank Jr., 36% for Conor Benn. Jabs, 350, Eubank Jr., more than double Conor Benn. Jabs landed, Eubank Jr. tripled. Actually, man, more than triple Conor Benn. The jab accuracy for Eubank Jr., 40%. Conor Benn was at 25%. Punches landed for Eubank Jr., 227. And then 180 for Conor Benn. Power accuracy were about the same, 40% for Eubank Jr., 39% for Conor Benn. Headshots landed, Eubank Jr. doubled them with 302. Then body shots landed with 65 for Eubank Jr., 59 for Conor Benn. But when I look at this right here, Conor Benn for this next fight, he's going to have to make sure he jumps on Eubank Jr. There's total punches landed. Total punches thrown. Conor Benn doesn't necessarily have to throw more. I think he needs to figure out a way to slow Eubank Jr. down. Eubank Jr. was dehydrated. Eubank Jr. looked like he wanted a way out that fight. If Conor Benn was able to cut the ring off better, target the body better, have a little bit better defense, I think he would have been able to win that fight. Throwing more punches, I don't think is necessarily the answer for Conor Benn, because even he got tired. I mean, he was fighting a dehydrated man, a dead man walking in Eubank Jr. And Conor Benn was the one who was very tired at the end of the fight. I think Conor Benn just needs to work on his conditioning, cutting the ring off, and when he's shooting his shots in combination, make sure he's probably looking to throw a bit more power punches. You know what I'm saying? You look at Eubank Jr. He threw over 100 more power punches than Conor Benn. That's where I think Conor Benn needs to figure some things out. He needs to work on throwing more power punches, but not just being reckless with it. He has to be precise with his shots and making sure that he lands. Even though he threw 100 less than Eubank Jr., Eubank Jr. only landed about 47 more than Conor Benn. So if Conor Benn can tighten up the power punches landed by throwing more, being more precise, I think Conor Benn has a good shot. And definitely, when you talk about body shots, I think Conor Benn, where you look at the, the body shots landed, he landed 59. If he can land that, get that maybe up to around 150, 125, I think he can slow down Eubank Jr. and possibly knock him out. But that's just my 2 cents on the fight and what I see. But what I'm going to tell you is Eubank Jr. won the first fight. But I don't think he wins the second fight, okay? At least as of right now. The more I take a look at it, see what they're doing in training, how they're sounding, then I may change my mind. But right now I'm favoring Conor Benn. I'm going to be honest. You got to understand, that first fight for Eubank Jr., that shit was brutal. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. But back on that physical and mental, that shit was hard on him, man. Yeah, Conor Benn, He had to push through some tough times, and his head was lumped up. He looked like a garbage pail kid at the end of the fight. But one guy to me, although he won the fight, Eubank Jr., to me, his cost was way more brutal than Conor Benn. That 160-pound weight cut left him severely dehydrated. He was in the hospital, man, and they said it was scary to see him in the hospital, hooked up to those IVs and just looking lifeless. You know what I'm saying? So, it just lets you know, Eubank Jr.'s dad, he definitely, wired that kid, programmed that kid a kind of way to where he's unique, he's different, he's built for the sport. But I expect him to be hospitalized after this bout as well. And I'm just being real with you. He admitted to losing a toenail from dehydration and blocked from leaving the stadium in an ambulance. The man lost a toenail from dehydration. Now, I haven't done any research on that to understand how that's even possible. Good thing he ain't lose his dick, you know what I'm saying? Lose his balls. You imagine that? So that dehydration, when parts of your body start falling off, probably not. I tell you what, it won't be the fight for me because I ain't trying to wake up and lose nothing. But he admitted to losing a toenail from dehydration and being blocked from leaving the stadium in an ambulance. And I don't understand why they were blocking from leaving the stadium in an ambulance. But it's that's not just a bad cut, you know what I mean? That's a dangerous one. A dangerous weight cut. And unfortunately for him, the rematch is still same thing, man. There's conditions, 160 pounds. Why? But, Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn, they don't care. They want any advantage they can get. Why he would agree to a 2-fight deal at 160 pounds, I don't understand. Then can only rehydrate to 170 pounds. I just don't get it. He's 35 years old, going on 36. His body's not going to handle this weight cut and fight camp. He's not going to handle it any better now than he did, going into the first fight. You know what I'm saying? So, can he win again? Yeah, he can win again. I just don't think he wins again. As of right now, my position may change, but as of right now, I just don't think so. He's more technical, more experienced, sharper fundamentals. He got the proven chin. He's got the heart. You got to kill him. Yeah, like you really got to kill Eubank Jr. to get a victory over him, especially Conor Benn. But he just found a way, man, to outwork Benn in the first fight, landing cleaner shots, controlling the pace. But physically, I just think he left. I always like to joke and say fighters get a pound of flesh taken out of them when they either get beat or go through a tough fight. For Eubank Jr., I think he had 10 pounds of flesh beaten out of him or taken out of him. From the hard fight, grueling camp, horrible weight cut. He ain't the same fighter. He's not the same fighter. I don't care how much experience he has, how much of a chin he has. He ain't the same. I don't think he's going to be able to outwork Ben in the second fight. This shit about landing the cleaner shots, I think he's going to be more sloppy. That's just me. I just don't think he's going to keep up with the pace Ben pushes. I think Ben is going to push harder. So anyway, the Benns will finally get a loss against the Eubank Jr. It'll be 3-1. And who knows, maybe they push for a trilogy, but they would have to fix that contract because that weight cut is just crazy. It's crazy. Physically, he's compromised, man. But he wants to get in there and, do the business or whatever. Conor Benn's going to apply that pressure early. But if he lets Eubank Jr. get into his rhythm, he could break him down. Eubank Jr. could break him down. He really can. Especially if... But the thing is, if he can stop Eubank Jr. from getting in his rhythm, Conor Benn can break him down. And especially if Eubank Jr.'s body is still recovering from the last cut, which is what I think. I still don't think he's fully recovered. When some fighters take a year off, we don't like that, right? I think Eubank Jr. is a classic case of a guy who probably needs a year off, probably needs a year and a half off. What he put himself through to get ready for Conor Benn is what you call madness. Utter madness, man. But Conor Benn got a few paths to victory here now. He can do the business. You gotta look at the bigger picture. I know there's a lot of Eubank Jr. fans. People still don't like Conor Benn because he was out there on clomiphene, because he ate, supposedly, right, the farmers. He got a batch of eggs from a farm, and on his farm, the farmers were administering clomiphene to the hens because it helps to increase their egg production rate, reproduction rate, and it just so happened the batch of eggs where they came from a hen who had been administered clomiphene. And Conor Benn just happened to get about 35, 40,000 of those and made the biggest omelet we've ever seen. And that's how he tested positive for clomiphene. Don't make me laugh, don't make me laugh, don't make me laugh. But anyway, Conor Benn has the tools to flip the script. He's not eating omelets anymore. He's not even eating French toast. He just may not be eating anything, you know what I'm saying? But he's younger, he's fresher. He's hungry to avenge his first loss. He wants to get the Benn name over the Eubank Jr. name once and for all. Look at his father, Nigel Benn. Said Conor was at his worst. Nigel Benn was kind of brutal, wasn't he? He was kind of hard on Conor Benn. I was like, damn, Nigel. Your son just went in there and fought his heart out, and you're going to come and say he was at his worst? Get the hell out of here. But what I can tell you, he was in that first fight throwing wild shots. He allowed emotion to get the best of him. He ignored the game plan, and he ended up getting overwhelmed. But if he was at his worst, at his best, he's going to beat Eubank Jr. because at his worst, Conor Benn looked pretty damn good. Okay? But this time, Benn is more focused, which is good. He's training smarter, improving his conditioning. These are all the things he needs to do. And working on punch placement. All the things he needs to do. If he can stay composed and apply smart aggression, it's not a matter of he can win. He is going to win. But this isn't just about the fighters now. Because I'm telling you, I think Conor Benn's going to win. But, I'll plug up my little thing here. But, this shit is not just really about the fighters. It's about the business. Because Conor Benn, although I think Eubank Jr. is just putting everything at risk fighting Conor Benn is too. Because all the wrong that Conor Benn has done was all forgiven the way he performed against Eubank Jr. Nobody's talking about him being a cheat anymore. Only a concentric few who are just miserable as human beings. But the expanded audience, they're like, forget what this guy's done in the past. This guy, he can fight. He's the truth. And he went up a couple weight divisions and was able to put on a very good showing. Damn near, some people felt he wanted to fight. But put on a very good showing against Eubank Jr. But when you look at the business, that's why these two are getting back in the ring. You know, Turki Al-Sheikh's putting up millions to make the rematch happen. Turki Al-Sheikh wants to see them fight. You know why? Because he wants to see a mashup crash up. He wants to see blood. He wants to know somebody severely handicapped like Eubank Jr. going into this fight being dehydrated. He wants to see somebody on the brink of death. He wants to see that. Now, he doesn't want anyone to die, but I mean, he wants it to be so violent and destructive in the ring to where, you know, there's a chance of that happening. But of course, Turki Al-Sheikh isn't wishing bad on anyone. He just wants this shit like gladiators. Fight to the death. And that could be what they're getting, because at the end of the day, the real winners here, the promoters. Turki Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn. I don't even know who's promoting Eubank Jr., but the fight's a spectacle. It's a legacy clash. And 100% a money magnet. I know for a fact that crowd they had the first time, they're going to have that and more the second time around. Because that first fight was just something crazy. And one thing that people don't realize, I don't know who's promoting Eubank Jr., but Crawford's trainer, BoMac, is now working Eubank Jr.'s corner, so the stakes are even higher. So although I think Conor Benn's going to win, I got to be careful, because now with Eubank Jr., He's going to have access to the nutritionist, the strength and conditioning coach, the dietitian. He's going to have access to all of the resources that Crawford had access to going up to fight Canelo. So now with the weight cut, which Crawford has always made amazing weight cuts and got in the ring and performed at the top level, Eubank Jr. now with his weight cut will probably be much, much better, more managed. And Eubank Jr., you know what? I may have just changed my prediction for the fight right here during this video. Matter of fact, I'm going to go at, now that I'm thinking about it, right? I'm going with Eubank Jr. for the victory because when I was taking my notes, I forgot that, BoMac is Eubank Jr.'s trainer. So I think definitely it's going to be a smarter training, a smarter approach, smarter, especially to the weight cut for Eubank Jr. Yep. Eubank Jr. going to mess around and beat Conor Benn again. But Conor Benn's going to be prepared. Damn, boy. The stakes in this fight are they're just like shot through the roof, man. And he's going to have access to I got Eubank Jr. winning this, man. Yeah, the more I think about it, it's not just BoMac helping him. Y'all know that. He's going to have the 3, 4, 5 trainers that Crawford has. Strategists, breaking shit down. You watch Eubank Jr. probably knock Conor Benn out within 4 rounds. You watch. So, you just watch. But anyway, what happens if either man wins this fight? Well, Eubank Jr. wins again. He could be trying to line up. I still think his name is going to be mixed with Canelo. You know, although Canelo lost to Crawford, he's not done with boxing. He's going to come back. And how interesting that would be if Canelo comes back and instead of fighting Crawford, Turki Al-Sheikh lines up the third fight for Canelo against the winner of Benn and Eubank Jr. He fights Eubank Jr. instead of Hamza Shiraz. Now you got Canelo fighting Eubank Jr., but BoMac is training Eubank Jr. So Eddie Reynoso and Canelo are still here having the goddamn Crawford nightmares because Eubank Jr. is athletic, he's fast, he's long, but he's not Crawford. But underneath BoMac, I give him a good chance to apply that same blueprint that Crawford used to outbox Canelo. It will be very, very, very interesting. And a matter of fact, he's already floated the idea, and with BoMac in his corner, the narrative writes itself. Crawford's trainer helped me beat Benn. Now I want Crawford Canelo scalp. That would be good. And if Benn were to win, then Benn could definitely call out Crawford directly. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. Anyway, we'll see how it goes because Conor Benn is young, marketable. He's backed by Eddie Hearn. But realistically, it all sounds good. But I think as far as Crawford and Canelo, what happens next? It's either they rematch each other or Turki Al-Sheikh's going to push Hamza Shiraz. I just think he's going to push Hamza Shiraz. Especially now where I don't think Crawford can call his own shots. I think Canelo still can. But I think the fight that makes sense for Canelo and Crawford is a rematch because now you're talking about both guys making 9 figures. Where's Crawford going to go to make that kind of money? Canelo, he may get it just because of the contract he signed, but there's definitely more money on the table for Canelo and Crawford. But, those fights are legacy defining for Eubank Jr. and Benn if they were to get a Crawford-Canelo fight. But I still think Eubank Jr. and Benn are kind of proving themselves they still got to prove themselves to get to that next level. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to put some respect on the name. Eubank Jr., 35-3, 25 KOs, 35 years old. Veteran, savvy, elite conditioning, working with BoMac now, reinventing himself tactically. Could angle for a legacy fight if he wins again. Then Conor Benn, 23-1 and 14 KOs, 28. Young, explosive, marketable, still developing his ring IQ and composure. If he wins the rematch, he becomes a major player at 154, 160. So the bottom line, when you look at these guys as far as the upside, Eubank Jr., I don't know, man. He's kind of nearing the twilight of his career. But a second win over Benn, especially under Turki Al-Sheikh's spotlight, could earn him that shot we're talking about. Crawford, Canelo, Eubank Jr.'s got name value. That's one thing that matters. He's got a fan base, and now he's got a storyline. And with Conor Benn, if he's victorious, he becomes one of the most marketable British fighters. And Eddie Hearn's going to push him. Young, aggressive, backed by the mouth. I would call him Fast Eddie. If he improves that conditioning and tactical discipline, he could definitely get a win over Eubank Jr. But if not, he could fight another hard fight in a loss or draw, get the respect of everyone, and he could become a future headliner in Saudi Arabia or Las Vegas. So, very, very good fight. I can't wait to see these guys get in the ring and scrap. Anyway, y'all keep cool. More to come. The key takeaway here, Conor Benn, initially I was like, Conor Benn can do everything to get better. Eubank Jr. can't. But now you find out Eubank Jr. being trained by BoMac and has access to all of the resources Crawford had. That's a big damn deal. Hard one to call. I think I got Eubank Jr. winning this one, but man, hard one to call. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Become a member to the channel. If you enjoy the content, become a member to the channel. It really helps out. Thank you. In the breeze.